First, I'm going to do a little rundown. Should I use the mic? Yeah, I'm going to use the mic. I'm doing it. And then drop it. First, I'm going to do a little run through of what I'm going to talk about today. Number 1, hello. Number 2, anxiety. 3, shit doers. 4, help. 5, embarrassment. 6, quitting. Drug dealing. A word from our sponsors. Goodbye, and then text Stefan. All right, so my name's Mike Kushner. I am creative director, thank you, Steph, and co-founder of Stefan's Head. So I'll get a lot more into what exactly that means, but super quick rundown of what I did in the last 4 or 5 years. So I went to Miami Ad School in San Francisco, graduated in 2012, and then I went to DDB as an art director.
Oh, that's where I know you.
Yep. Feel free to talk to me too, that's great. No, it's perfect. And then in 2014, I went to Gray. And then since then, I quit Gray in January, went through a tech accelerator program called TechStars, and now have a company that I'm running right now, which is called Stefan's Head. And Trey, that dude over there, tall guy waving, he's my co-founder. Woo woo! Okay. So, number 1. Anxiety of getting started. This is a huge issue of mine, basically, and I think a lot of creatives have tons and tons of ideas, but it's always really, really difficult to get started. At least it is for me. And it's not necessarily that problem in advertising because we have producers and planners and account people and creative directors, basically a shitload of people telling you hey, get this done. But when it comes to your own personal project, at least for me, that's a little bit tougher to get started. So what has really helped me actually do stuff is surrounding myself with people who actually do stuff. So I'm not necessarily the Kickstarter kind of guy, but I like to surround myself with people who do stuff and are very motivated, type A kind of person. So speaking of Trey, I received a visit from Trey when I was at DDB, and Trey was at Wharton, one of the best MBA schools on the planet. Super smart, the smartest dude I know. We grew up together. We've known each other since we were 5, and he said that single teardrop, crocodile tear. And so he said, I'm going to start a company. I'm going to start a business. I would love to bounce some ideas off of you and see what you think, especially on the creative side, design side, stuff like that. So we talked for an entire day, basically. And at the end of the conversation, I was just like, hey, I'll be your creative director. I want in. Meanwhile, I'm literally a junior art director. He has no idea that I'm not legit at all. And so we created this company called Goods of Record. And so it's an artisan men's goods company. We sell artisan men's goods, but tell the story behind it. So I said I can take care of the video, the photography, the design of everything, basically. And that's a little bit more than I can actually do. So, which brings me to my next point, which is asking for help. So as soon as I convinced Trey to let me on the squad, I said, all right, shit, how am I going to get this done? And so I basically said, all right, advertising, we know a lot of people in advertising, video people, photographers, all that stuff. So I called my buddy Kyle, who I worked with at DDB, who was the video guy there. I don't know if you remember or not. Yep, she remembers. Yep. So we essentially booked our first maker and went and filmed that person. I was B-roll camera guy and took all the photography, and it was a lot of fun. But it was also this is one of the photographs from a guy in Ohio. This guy just made really cool leather stuff. So basically, what happened was at that point I went to Gray and I was an art director at Gray as well, and during that time, it became sort of a lot to handle both. So it was about a year into it, Goods of Record, and I was doing, Gray during the day, and then during the night, Goods of Record. On the weekends, traveling to see these guys and all that stuff, and film and photograph them. And my poor wife over here is just sure, just do it. But make sure this is going somewhere, basically. Which jury's still out on that one. No, everything's good. So what I ended up doing was, so Trey basically convinced me that, okay, listen, we're going to apply to this thing. It's called Techstars. And I had no idea what it was. Never heard of it. I researched it. It looked cool. It seemed legit. And he said, okay, if we get into this, will you quit your job and, do this full time? It's like shit or get off the pot. And bless you. And I said, okay, well, what are the chances that we get in? And he said 3,000 teams, 3,000 companies apply, 12 get picked. And I said, sure. And then we got in, and I was like, shit, I got to quit my job. So in January of this year, I quit my job at Gray and went to Techstars. So quit advertising, joined Techstars. And that was thank you. But that was a super big jump for me, and I'm not, to be honest, I'm kind of conservative when it comes to stuff like that. So I needed a little bit of a reassurance that, one, we have some money, like Techstars basically invests in your company and they get a small percentage of equity. So I had to know that at least I can but pay my half of the rent. So my wife wasn't killing me. So I did that, and sure. She's up next. So that's basically what Techstars is. Again, surrounding yourself with people who do shit. They are do more faster is their slogan. So it's basically surrounding yourself with people who have been there before, started companies. That's who we surrounded ourselves with. So then that turned into this company called Stefan's Head, which is what we're doing right now. So Goods of Record was cool. I was having a lot of fun with it. We were traveling places, filming guys and girls, and it basically came to a point where we got a lot of feedback where, yes, this is a cool company. It's a little bit vanilla. It's kind of like there are some other companies doing it. It's great. You guys are going to it'll be successful, and that kind of ate at us, and especially me coming from the creative background where it's no, I'm not going to leave a creative background to do something kind of normal. Right. So and actually one of the mentors there straight up called me. He's like, you guys are boring. And I was like, what? That struck me hard. Yeah, that's why I got a tattoo. By the way, I didn't have this tattoo when Stephanie put me on. So I was like, I got to do something. So it's called Stefan's Head. It's a little risque. No. Pipe down there in the front couch. So Stefan's Head is a text message-based apparel company. So it's kind of like a drug dealer for clothes. That's what Dazed magazine called it. But so this is Stefan. He's a dealer of things. Keep it very sort of subversive and underground. He uses SMS technology. So this is something that's called an invisible app. So it's something that you don't download another app. You basically have it right on your phone right now. You can text with Stefan, which I'm going to make everyone do at the end of this, by the way. So it's something that we had a couple insights, which were brands all have an email list. So. But no brands have a text list, at least for now. And if you look at your phone right now, how many unread emails do you have as compared to how many unread text messages do you have? So it's just it's a really, at least right now, a really clear-cut way to communicate with our customers. So along with that, by the way, is we will never text someone first. We always intentionally let people find out about the number, whether it's word of mouth, Instagram, YouTube. So yeah, one of the other insights we got from the other business was we wanted to hear feedback from our customers. So we said, all right, we'll email them. We tried that, got a shitty response. We tried calling them, got an even worse response, and no one likes to talk to anyone, especially a random stranger. But then we started texting everyone because we had everyone's numbers who'd ordered. So we said, hey, this is Mike from Goods of Record. How how'd you like your wallet? How'd you like your iPad case? And they were super engaged. Every one of them, like 90% response rate. Everyone was really positive about things and wanted to sort of chat. So like we took that light bulb and held it there for a second. The second big reason was we did a partnership with something called the Skim. It's like it's a newsletter, email newsletter, and they featured us on like at the bottom. And basically, we had a page lined up for them, and we had 3 products. 2 of them were regular products. One we called exclusive and limited edition, just to like test it out, and that sold like 7 to 1. So don't tell anyone that. So the exclusive stuff and along with text messaging, and we were all sort of like wanting to get into fashion somehow and streetwear and stuff like that. So we took those insights and we made stuff on set. So this is what a typical drop looks like. So if you're on the text message list, Stefan will text everyone on the list, which is right now about 3,500 people, and say, this is the newest shirt, newest drop. Let me know if you want in. And so the first time if someone says, yeah, I want a shirt, we'll send them a Stripe link, which is like a third-party like PayPal, and you'll fill it out right on your phone. Good, you're all good. We'll send it to you. We'll text you the shipping tracking number. But the next time you want to have a shirt, it's just like, I want it, and then we can make that for you because we have all the information. It's not sketchy, but it's like once we get the go-ahead, then it's really easy for the user to order shirts. This is what a product drop looks like. And this is what, we also do content drops is what we call it. So every once in a while we will say, hey, no drop today, but this is a cool Instagram model to follow, or cool head is what we're calling it. Or like a trailer of some indie movie that we think is cool, basically. And people have responded pretty well to that and say, instead of us just trying to like sell stuff to them, we want to provide some other sort of benefit for being on the list as well. So this goes to my next slide, which is, if you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late. And this is like something that I struggled with a lot, especially coming from the ad world, which is, as an art director, you want to polish everything. You go through revisions, you go through various people who are giving you feedback and telling you what to do. By the time it goes out, it looks pretty good. But whenever you have a startup, there's just like no time for that. And so you're almost forced to put stuff out where it's not 100%. And that was like super tough for me. But I think ultimately it's like, no one really cares. No one notices anything except for you. So especially when you're trying to do things really quickly, that's kind of how you have to do it. And that was the biggest difference that I've seen between advertising and startup world. So this next slide will be 2 of the first T-shirts that I designed, basically. And at the time, I'm like, these are pretty cool. Like, got a Pop-Tart on the shirt. It's awesome. Got some Post-it notes on the shirt. It looks pretty nice, right? And we were all like, Trey and I were just like, this is fire. This is awesome. And we did some cool stuff. Like with this one, when we shipped it out, we put actual Pop-Tarts in and like stuff like that. But okay, looking back, whatever, it's not the best design in the world. So we get this text, it says, man, these shirts are whack. I can get this at the Gap. And I was super defensive about it. And I was like, find that picture at the Gap and send it to me. I guarantee you don't get Pop-Tarts at the Gap. But that's not the point. The point is the shirts were kind of whack. Right? So I'll give Trey the credit on this one. He actually texted with this kid and he said, all right, that's cool. What kind of brands are you into? What do you actually like? And since that was probably 2 months ago. Since then, we text every day with this kid, this 15-year-old kid who knows more about streetwear fashion than anyone I've ever seen in my life. He gives us lists and lists of new brands to check out. So we started taking feedback, basically, and we started taking it seriously. These are more recent shirts. Okay, again, like right now, I'm like, yo, this is fire. And 3 months from now, it might be, this is terrible. But at least, like, to me and some of our customers have noticed some progress. in the designs. And not all the designs are going to be me moving forward. We're going to collaborate with artists, with illustrators, photographers, and we already have with a couple of photographers. So this is the same dude. He said, "Nice, man. Looks good now." So that's like validation. So now we're just printing money. Just kidding. Shit's all bad. No. We basically, we want to continue to surround ourselves with people who are doing stuff. So right now we're at this place called Neo, and like kind of forced serendipity, we ended up at this place who they take startups and they're a consultancy, and so they took us in as residents. We get to work for free at this like sick place, kind of like this, and just a bunch of people who know what they're doing and are doing things constantly. So this one guy there, his name's Snugs. He got us a pair of these Yeezys, which are pretty hard to get a hold of, and they're selling for like $800,000-$900,000 on eBay, and $1,000. Retail price are $212. And so what we did with our list was we said, all right, Stefan's like, I got a pair of these Yeezys, selling it for retail price. It's going on sale at this time. And we had like a countdown, put it on sneaker blogs, everything, and it blew up. Like people were like texting from everywhere. They're like, yo, why are you selling it for $212? Are you crazy? And we were like, just trying to get my name out there, trying to keep it real in the sneaker community. So yeah, we did that, and it was like a pretty successful thing. But those are things that, as well, we're taking from like, advertising model, which is come up with ideas, try to do things every week, try to grow the list. This is an advertisement for the lodge. Hear your dreams come true. I always try to stick like a fake ad in my presentations. So that's it, really. But now I'm gonna make everyone text this number, and I'm gonna leave it on here for like awkwardly too long, and just leave it up there for a little bit until the next wonderful group goes up. So if everyone wants to look at this awesome model over here with this T-shirt, it's one of our T-shirts. That's actually, we did a collaboration with the photographer that I was mentioning from London.
Bexday, right?
Bexday, yep.
So she met these two twins at a motel and asked if she could photograph them. And I think this was cool.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks guys for everything.